Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that little run through history of all of the classic cars. I'm looking and my simple drawing doesn't look much like any of these. I'd have to say that maybe it looks a little bit like this 1930s one because it was very rounded. And there are a few that aren't shown on this picture that they showed in the video. Because it had 10 decades of cars. This is just showing 7 decades of cars. All right, why are we talking about cars? Before I tell you, let's go back and think of the route that we practiced in the last lesson. In our last lesson, we learned the route auto. So I want you to think back. Try to remember, what did auto mean? We talked about words like autopilot. One student brought up the word autoplay, automatic. All of those things have to do with something doing something by itself. If it's automatic, it runs by itself. If a plane's on autopilot, it flies by itself. If my YouTube or my Netflix is on autoplay, it just goes right on to the next episode by itself. I don't have to click the button to make it go to the next episode. So our last root word, auto, means self. Now I want you to think for just a moment. We're talking about cars. What word that uses that root auto could be used to describe a car? What word? We might call it at school a jazzy word. You might say, oh, car's kind of a plain word. What would be a jazzier or more descriptive or even just a longer word to use instead of car? All right. I'm going to give you one more hint just in case you haven't already figured it out with auto. Let's take a look at our new morpheme for the day. Now, our morpheme has 3 different forms, 3 different spellings that all mean the same thing. And we've got a few little things on this slide that I want to explain. So our first form, mob here, has this 2 next to it. Now, anytime we see a 2 next to a root word on a card, we're going to know that there are 2 ways to pronounce that root. 2 ways we might see it in words. So this you might see pronounced as mob in some words. And in other words, it might be mobe, depending on where it is in the word and what type of word it is. So mob and mobe. We're going to pronounce this one move as the root word because that's the sound it will make when you see it in a word. And you might know that this dash above the O means that it makes the long sound O, moat, because we don't see this as mott in words. When this root is used, it generally has that long O sound, moat. So mob, mobe, move, and moat. So let's think. We're looking for a word for car that starts with auto. And now we also want it to have one of these roots, mob, mobe, move, or moat. And I'm going to go ahead and show you our keyword. All right, so you may have already put this together. Our keyword for our new roots is automobile. Automobile. So we know that auto means self already. We know an automobile is a car. So now we want to focus on this root mobe here. It said mobe in this word. Mob, mobe, move, and moat all have the same meaning. Let's look at a few more words that have those roots or morphemes and see if we can figure out a common meaning. So I do have a brainstorm game here again. All of these words will have the root mob, mob, move, or moat. You're going to click the blue here to play and come over here back to word wall. We've done enough games that it may have saved your name by now. Make sure that's your real actual name that's typed in there. And this one is a quiz show. Ooh, I'll turn that volume down just a little. All right. So on this one, you'll have 4 choices and a clue, and you can also have some bonus things. So you watch it in a theater as the clue. I'm going to click movie. All right, ding, ding, ding. So I want you to play through here and see if you can guess the mob, mob, moat, or move word for each clue. When you finish, come back. You can use extra time or 50-50 or double score if you need it. All right. See you in a minute.